What's up, everybody? Neil McDevitt here, and in this video we have a juicy one. We're talking about venture capitalist Vinod Khosla and his insights and predictions of the future of artificial intelligence. Considering the fact that he is the founder of Khosla Ventures and he is worth an estimated $7 billion according to Google, and the fact that he is one of the earliest investors in companies like Stripe, Square, DoorDash, Instacart, Opendoor, and a plethora of other tech companies, I think it's safe to say that Vinod has a pretty good grasp on the world of tech and how it shapes our reality, and given his track record as an investor, it's hard to be a really good investor with a really good track record without having a very solid foundational understanding of how the world works as a whole. And especially since he invests in these high growth tech companies, he has a very good understanding of how these technologies transform our environment in the world. Given all of these insights and given all these facts of Vinod, I think it's safe to say that we can take his insights and wisdom and predictions with more than just a grain of salt. So in this presentation, we're going to be covering 12 of his predictions and insights of the future of artificial intelligence and the implications of it on the world around us. And the reason I'm making this video in the first place is to share what is happening in the world currently and to give entrepreneurs a different perspective and to provide different insights into the fourth industrial revolution that we are currently going through. So the first prediction and insight from Vinod is the fact that expertise will be near free. This is something that I mentioned in the first video on this YouTube channel. The two examples that Vinod mentions is the fact that we'll have near free artificial intelligence doctors for every single person and near free artificial intelligence tutors for every single child that operate 24/7. This is something that I think he mentioned because it's very obvious, and this is something that all humans can relate with, which is why he uses this example. But even furthermore, we can relate this across all adjacent markets and components that encapsulate expertise. So what is an artificial intelligence doctor really? What does a doctor actually do? A doctor is basically a consultant. It's a person who has a lot of specialized knowledge on a very specific thing and can ask probing questions and has the knowledge to be able to ask these probing questions so that they can diagnose your problem and then provide a solution and consult you on how to fix the problem that you have. So if we look at different markets like educators or teachers or professors at colleges, we look at different markets like consultants and coaches. These people are currently very scarce. They're very highly paid individuals because they're a rare commodity. But as this artificial intelligence evolves and develops, they're going to become more of an abundant commodity. The currently scarce wisdom and the currently scarce insights and expertise and consulting that you can buy from somebody will become something that is completely free and broadly available across all subjects. And this is something we're already seeing. We actually have implications on use cases of people using ChatGPT to diagnose themselves with problems that doctors haven't been able to diagnose for years. There's actually a case study where a mother has a child where they've gone to see many different doctors, getting many different opinions, and after seeing many doctors over 3 years, they could not come to a consensus as to what to diagnose this child with. Well, the mother used ChatGPT and gave the language model the symptoms of the child and explained all of the context of the situation. ChatGPT came back with a few different possibilities, and after having a back and forth conversation with the artificial intelligence model, they came to a conclusion that they then took to the doctors, and the doctors ended up coming to a consensus that yes, this is the actual diagnostic. So after 3 years of talking with doctors, they were able to solve that problem within days of communicating with a large language model. And even furthermore, we're already seeing large language models being phenomenal educators. I personally have taught myself how to code in Python using AI, and I've also taught myself a few other different disciplines, mainly things like chemistry because I think it's a fascinating topic. And if you want to learn literally anything about physics, whether you want to code, whether you want to learn about classical mechanics, thermodynamics, or you want to learn about chemistry, or maybe you just want to learn about the history of the samurai, you can use AI to teach you very, very well, and it's very good at doing so. And you can ask questions and teach yourself with this artificial intelligence at whatever pace you find comfortable learning at. Number 2, Vinod mentions that labor will be near free. And even furthermore, he says, we will have a billion bipedal and other types of robots freeing humans from the servitude of undesirable jobs. So really what he's saying is he predicts that AI agents will dislocate a billion jobs worldwide. And even furthermore, he says we'll have a billion bipedal robots and humanoid automatons, which is kind of insane to say the least, because we already have a very wide range of white-collar jobs of just people working on the internet that are going to be automated away before this. But even furthermore, he's talking about jobs in the physical world, physical labor, which is a pretty interesting phenomenon to say the least. So just to put this into perspective, North America and Europe combined only have about 1.1 billion residents. So that would be putting all of those people, if they had physical jobs, out of the labor market. Even furthermore, Sam Altman mentioned that ChatGPT 5 that is coming out in 2024, he predicts that it'll probably eliminate over 100 million jobs worldwide. Just that language model. And that is this year, a model that's coming out this year. So we could only assume that the way exponentials work, which we have data on, as this exponentially grows, the amount of jobs that become dislocated will become very large very quickly. So the obvious thing is the fact that having a billion humans free from the burden of undesirable labor is an amazing phenomenon. But what we need to ask ourselves is, what are the second and third order consequences of this? And really, if you think about it, it fundamentally shifts where humans find meaning from in our current culture and in our current paradigm, especially in a country like the United States, where largely our entire culture is, or our entire meaning culturally is found in work. Culturally, we incentivize humans to find their meaning in work and driving economic value for society. This is where, for a very long time, since America has been America, this is where humans have found meaning. So we're going to have a massive existential crisis in all of the first world countries, given this technology. Whenever everybody is relieved from the burden of labor, what do people do? They have existential crisis and are on a search for meaning, which I think this is going to be the biggest problem in first world countries. And I think, and where I'm placing all of my bets, is the fact that communities or community-based businesses are going to be the businesses that provide meaning to the masses. And this is the main reason I actually started to post on YouTube again, is because I'm seeing this trend and I'm looking at this opportunity, and it is the biggest opportunity that that anybody has seen for a very, very long time, to say the least. So what we can see here is the majority of today's business models are going to be completely uprooted and forced to change. The majority of the labor market and employees are going to be completely uprooted, and they're going to be forced to find a completely new source of meaning. And like I said, my bet is the fact that community businesses will be the best place to find meaning in the future. Number 3, computers will grow expansively. So what Vinod says here is that there will be a billion plus programmers, all programming in natural language or human language, whether it's English, French, Spanish, any type of human language and natural language will be programming, which will dramatically increase the scope of computers. And he says that computers will adapt to humans, not humans to computers. So what Vinod is predicting here is that prompt engineering will be the new form of completing tasks in the future. And what prompt engineering is the ability to use natural language or human language to have artificial intelligence achieve a very specific and precise result in the most efficient way possible. So the implications of this and the possibilities of this are as follows. There is a framework called a HAS, a Hierarchical Autonomous Agent Swarm. This is something that people are currently working on. This is where you get a reasonably competent foundational model, and you say, hey, you're an AI agent. Here are your mission, vision, and values. Here is the constraints that I want you to follow. Here's exactly what I want you to accomplish. Don't come back to me until you accomplish this. And by the way, while you're accomplishing this, spin up an arbitrary number of other artificial intelligence agents to help you accomplish this goal. So what you're doing here is you're getting an foundational model, an artificial intelligence agent that is now a CEO of a company, and you're telling it to go spin up an arbitrary number of other other AI employees to work underneath it. Now you have this autonomous entity, this autonomous intelligent swarm of artificial intelligence agents, this entity that can be completely autonomous and go complete tasks and achieve massive goals on your behalf without you having to do anything besides prompting the large language models to do so. Which this is something that is obviously quite powerful, and it kind of removes the need for human beings in a lot of different things, as you can tell. So really what we want to look at here is the fact that what are some implications of this in a little bit longer for now, or a little bit longer from now. So I want you to imagine a scenario where one day soon, not too soon, I guess you could say this is a little bit further off, but one day soon, we all have our own autonomous humanoid robots at home. They're like our personal assistants. And let's say you need food cooked, your laundry done, your HVAC fixed, you need some plumbing done, you need some electrical work, maybe you need the lawn mowed. Anything you need done, this thing can do. And the reason why is because all you have to do is install the program into your at-home humanoid robot that teaches it how to do it. That's the one thing that humans lack, is the ability to just install information. Let's say you need to fly a helicopter. You can't just install the skills of flying a helicopter. You have to build the skills. But the thing with these humanoid robots is you can go to a specific company that has a lot of training data on the same humanoid robot model that you have, and then you can just install that data into your humanoid robot, and now it knows exactly how to complete those tasks. And it can literally dislocate all of the HVAC companies, all of the electrical companies, all of the plumbing companies, pretty much any type of home service, local based business. It completely eradicates the need for. Again, this is something that isn't happening today, but this is something that will be coming in the near future. Which this is what I mean when companies are going to be forced to take on an entirely new different form factor. Instead of having 200,000 plumbing companies across the nation, and they're all just a collection of specialized individuals, what plumbing companies' new form factor will look like is data companies who have a lot of training data on a bunch of specific models of humanoid robots, and then you can just install the information for your specific humanoid robot model that allows it to complete these tasks. This is the future of what local-based or service-based local businesses or home improvement businesses will look like, or likely will look like. Number 4, artificial intelligence will play a large role in entertainment and design. I think this one is a more obvious one because it's something that is happening largely right now, especially with the advancements of OpenAI's Sora, which, sure, it's not open to the public yet, but it will be very soon. And then other music generating apps, other image generating apps. There's obviously a large thing happening here. And even furthermore, what Vinod is predicting here is as follows. So imagine you're watching a movie, and based off of your current state of emotion and your moods and all of the facial gestures and any type of psychological cues that you're putting off, the movie that you're watching detects your emotion in real time and detects where you're looking on the screen and develops the plot, develops the music, develops the entire viewing experience, listening experience around your current emotions. keeping you hyper engaged, having the most insane retention rates anybody could ever possibly imagine. And this is something that is currently being worked on, and it's already in the talks. Um, so this is something that you might not be able to see how this directly applies to your business today, but this is something that you will see is very insane and interesting, to say the least, and will have a lot of downstream effects of businesses and will cause a massive ripple throughout the market. Number 5. So given the fact that my current audience is the majority of my current audience is made up of agency owners, online coaches, and other internet marketers, you really need to pay attention to this slide. So this is saying that internet access will be mostly done by artificial intelligence agents. So Vinod's quote here: most customer access of the internet will be agents acting for consumers, doing tasks, and fending off marketers and bots. Tens of billions of agents on the internet will be normal. So as a human navigating the internet, where there's tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions, of artificial intelligence agents posting content in all the social platforms, just making content on the internet, doing a plethora of different activities on the internet, how do you as a human navigate that? You really can't. You fundamentally can't tell the difference between real or something that's real or something that's fake. But artificial intelligence can. Therefore, you're not going to be the one who actually navigates the internet. And you'll probably won't even want to navigate the internet because it'll be so not even overstimulating, but it'll just be exhausting to do so because there's just so much nonsense and garbage being pushed in front of your face all the time. So the way you will navigate the internet is through having artificial intelligence. And we're already seeing devices that make this possible. There's devices like the new Rabbit device, the new Siri model that's coming out. And then also on a recent interview, Mark Zuckerberg was talking about a new invention that Meta is working on. And Mark actually talked about him using it himself. It's a neural interface. So the way this works is it's a non-invasive way to give humans an augmented reality neural interface and perceive the internet or perceive the world through that lens. So the way this works is Meta already has a partnership with Ray-Ban where they have the Ray-Ban glasses with the Meta camera and that stuff input into the glasses. But now what they also have is a wristband that goes on your wrist and it senses the nervous system through your wrist. And what it can do is give you a neural interface so that you can interact with your environment without having any type of invasive Neuralink put in your head, which gives you an augmented reality point of view on things. So really, what does this look like is you're going to basically be Tony Stark. So imagine Tony Stark in Iron Man talking to Jarvis with his little face dash cam, whatever. This is the reality that we're heading to. This is the technology that is coming out today. So because of these implications and because of the details that I just explained, this is why I am currently focused on 1, building a community, and then 2, collecting email addresses of my audience and my community members. Because no matter where we go, no matter how this plays out, I can bring my audience and my community to a separate platform if I need to. So the one thing I could see happening is that virtual reality and augmented reality communities will become a very large sector in the near future. We already know that consulting companies and agency companies are probably going to become extinct just because that'll be those will be skills that are abundantly freely available, and there will literally be no need to have any type of agency doing that. There'll be no need to hire somebody to do that because you could just talk to an artificial intelligence and it'll do it for you. And so you never even have to deal with the person in the first place. So what these agencies again become is software companies with large language models attached to them. But that's something that I mentioned in a different video. But what I see, like I said, is communities not just taking a form factor of a platform online on your computer, but in an augmented reality or a virtual reality setting where we can actually interact with each other. Number 6, artificial intelligence simulations of human bodies. So this is something that is actually pretty insane. For the first time ever, for the first time ever, will actually have proper healthcare. Which I say that half jokingly, but if you think about it, we don't really have healthcare. We have sick care. And the best way to prevent sickness, or the best way to solve any type of sickness, is to prevent it in the first place. So what this AI simulation of your body does is it gives you the ability to detect any type of cancer or any other diseases or imbalances in your body so that you can fix the situation before it ever gets out of hand. And obviously this is pretty amazing because this will drastically increase the average lifespan of humans. So this is another one that might not be something that directly impacts your business, but you can definitely come up with some fantastic business ideas from this, like maybe some consumer packaged good ideas or other types of ideas, by doing some more research into this field. So Vinod predicts that we will have much better alternatives to protein production to replace traditional animal protein. And we'll have green fertilizer, and and the taste of these proteins, or this protein replacers, will far exceed that of traditional cows or traditional meats. So imagine a world where you have a Beyond Burger that actually tastes good. That's basically what we're talking about here, is where we have plant-based protein and plant-based foods that eliminate the need of using like cows or other forms of protein, and removes that entire ethical concern while having much better taste in those things and keeping you satiated for much longer than like those animals. And obviously plants are a lot easier and quicker to grow than a cow. So it just makes the infrastructure of feeding humans a lot better and easier. Number 8, cars could become displaced in cities. So this is something that's actually very interesting, and I suspect a lot of cool business models will pop out from this, and I actually have some ideas for myself. This is something that I could see happening since Elon Musk and Tesla and their current push for autonomy. They literally went all in on autonomy and fired a lot of employees, and a lot of employees have left. The robo-taxi is launching August 8th, and Tesla is making massive strides in full self-driving. I don't remember the exact number, but there have been billions of miles of real, like, human users using full self-driving. And all of that training data is making the exponential improvements of this happen very quickly. And not to mention Uber and Tesla's partnership. So Elon Musk actually mentioned this on a recent interview, that what he suspects happening is we will have a bunch of Tesla-owned Tesla vehicles on the road providing transportation, and then also a lot of individual private-owned Tesla vehicles providing services on the road as well, making public transit a much better. Number 9, flying will be faster. Again, this is one of those ones where it might not directly impact your business, but it's just interesting to learn about because it does kind of shed some light on how the world is changing fundamentally. So this is a prediction that we will have AI autonomous airplanes that will be able to travel at Mach 5 speeds. This gets us from New York City to London in 90 minutes on sustainable aviation fuel, making the world a much smaller place. Obviously, the current constraint of this is humans can't really do that on Earth without, passing out, because all of the blood is being sucked out of their brain pretty much. But having an autonomous airplane, obviously this is positive and negative, because you can only imagine the powerful and very scary weapons that will be created from this. Number 10, unlimited clean energy. So this is actually my favorite one on the list by far. So by 2050, fusion boilers will retrofit and replace coal and natural gas boilers, reducing the need to build a whole new fusion plant. Super hot geothermal under 400 degrees Celsius is also an alternative. Whatever, or over to 400 degrees Celsius. So again, this is something I'm excited for. Vinod says this is happening by 2050. A lot of other people who are actually building these things and researching this space, and I've been following this space for a little bit, says it's likely to happen more or sooner than 2050, but 2050 is not a bad guess. Companies like Helion leading the advancements on this industry, which, by the way, Sam Altman is on the board of Helion, and he's been there for 10 years. They think that they'll have something around 2029 that helps power the advancements of OpenAI's technology and the data centers of OpenAI. So the reason why this one is such a big deal is because that this really is one of the biggest constraints that we have as a civilization, and as a species, really. If we think about it, we can boil the constraints of human capabilities and where our civilization can end up down into three constraints. We have the constraint of intelligence. So humans can only be so smart, but we are solving this currently with artificial intelligence. We're going to have artificial intelligence that's much smarter than humans. The second one is energy, and this is being solved with nuclear fusion, solar, and other solutions. And the last one is material resources. Once as we have these three constraints removed, this gives us the ability to very easily have self-sustaining space civilizations. Which I don't want to get too nerdy on you guys, but this gives us the ability to basically increase the likelihood of humanity surviving in perpetuity, which is huge. This is the biggest thing that we could possibly accomplish, is having unlimited clean energy and just giving humans the ability to last. So this is something I'm super excited for. And one might argue that we have limited material resources, but let's look at the next slide and cover this. So with segueing from the last slide, with companies like Astroforge, Origin Space, and other astro mining companies, we will have more resources than we know what to do with. We'll have so many resources that the only places we have space to build infrastructure is space itself. And this gives us, again, pretty interesting opportunities. And depending on your business model, maybe you have a business model that relies on materials or resources being scarce, or maybe you have one that improves if materials and resources become less scarce. This could affect your business. Again, number 12, this is the last one. Carbon will have solutions. So if you're not aware, carbon emissions cause a lot of world problems like economic problems, ocean problems. The ozone layer thins because of carbon. There's a lot of different problems that I don't want to cover all of them. But a lot of people argue that this could be one of the problems that leads to the end of humanity. And Vinod predicts that we'll have entrepreneurs that create startups around carbon solutions that will basically invent better technology that reduces the carbon emissions in the atmosphere based off of the certain industries that currently emit the most amount of carbon. So, in conclusion, given the information on the previous slides, I hope you discovered some valuable information. Whether it's discovering a new opportunity, discovering that your business model might be obsolete in the future, and now realizing that it might be time to pivot, or just maybe you're starting a business and then you figured out that, that business idea probably isn't a good one for the future. This is very good information to have, and my mission is to stay on the cutting edge of what is happening during this fourth industrial revolution and to provide you with the key insights of the coming changes so that you can adapt, prepare, and prevail. It is my personal belief that the businesses that we can all work on today and will still be relevant in the future are community businesses, which is why I am building a community business. There's also some other sectors that may be viable as well, mainly things like waste management, because I think humans will always produce waste, or even AI, I believe, will produce some type of waste, and managing that waste is something that we will need, whether you're doing it or AI is doing it. You can just own the AI infrastructure that manages the waste, that being your waste management company, or a company that we can be pretty confident that is going to survive is a company where the intrinsic value of the company lies in the fact that it has humans, which would be a community business. This is why I'm going all in on communities. The intrinsic value of a community is the fact that it has humans. Therefore, I think it is very likely that it will stay around, since the only thing that keeps it valuable is humans. It's not that you need any type of specific other variable to make it valuable. It's not like you need a specific scarce thing to keep it valuable. It's not that you need a certain skill to keep it valuable, because scarce knowledge, scarce wisdom, scarce skills are going to be very abundant very soon, and they're going to be pretty much free. So if you have a business that capitalizes on those scarcities or incompetencies within the market, you're probably in a business model that's not going to be around forever. So this is why I'm personally going all in on communities. If you don't believe communities are going to be it either, do something else. That's completely fine. But that being said, the community that I am building is linked in the description below. The community is about navigating the fourth industrial revolution. It's about learning how to use AI, learning how to create AI employees, also learning how to just build a community business altogether. And we focus on building autonomous community businesses, meaning we use AI on the front end to bring in people, and then we have people as the product on the back end. So we are implementing AI in the business, but the value of the community, again, relies in the fact that there are humans in there. So right now, it is currently free. If you want to join my community, link is in the description below. It's not going to be free for long, so go ahead and join while it is. That being said, I hope you found value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.